Imagine a world where a single handshake dictated the global economy, attaching the lifeblood of modern civilization, oil, to the US dollar. In 1974, a clandestine handshake in Riyadh connected oil to the dollar, influencing global trade. Today, rumors of change are increasing. Can this handshake still maintain its power, or is a new era on the horizon? Join us as we explore the handshake that could collapse the US dollar. Chapter 1. The secret handshake that changed the world. The year is 1974. Oil prices have quadrupled, America is in crisis, and the dollar, no longer backed by gold, is under pressure. Behind closed doors in Riyadh, US officials meet with the Saudi royal family. Out of that meeting comes a simple but world-changing act: a handshake. The deal? Saudi Arabia will price its oil in US dollars. In return, America promises protection and advanced weapons. It looks like a routine agreement, but in reality, it's a silent revolution. From that moment on, any nation that wanted oil first had to obtain US dollars. Energy, the fuel of modern life, was now locked to a single currency. Think about it. While past empires ruled with armies and colonies, America secured dominance with just a handshake and a price tag. One bold move turned a struggling dollar into the world's most powerful currency. And here's the question: did the Saudis truly realize they were shaping global history, or was it the Americans who played the smartest power move of the century? Chapter 2. Petrodollars and America's Golden Loop. That handshake in Riyadh did more than tie oil to the dollar. It created a financial loop so powerful it rewrote global economics. Here's the genius: every country now needed dollars to buy oil. Those dollars went to Saudi Arabia and other oil producers, and instead of sitting idle, much of that money flowed straight back into US banks and treasury bonds. In effect, the world was buying oil, and the cash was circling right back to fund America's government, its military, and even its consumer lifestyle. Washington was running deficits, but who cared? The rest of the world was financing them. Economists called this petrodollar recycling. But to put it simply, it was like America had convinced the globe to hand it an endless credit card. Each transaction fed the dollar's dominance. This wasn't just smart economics. It was a quiet act of empire building. Instead of soldiers and colonies, America used dollars and oil. The result was a system where the global economy became deeply intertwined with the strength of the US dollar. Chapter 3. The Myth of the Expiring Deal. Fast forward to today, and headlines scream, "The petrodollar has collapsed," or "The 50-year deal is over." It sounds shocking, almost like a financial apocalypse. But the truth is far less dramatic. There was never a formal treaty forcing Saudi Arabia to sell oil exclusively in US dollars. The 1974 handshake was about cooperation, mutual benefits, and security guarantees, not a legal mandate. While the dollar became the default currency for oil trade, it was more custom, convenience, and mutual interest than a binding law. Yet the story persists because it's sensational. People love to imagine a single moment, the handshake, holding the fate of the entire global economy. But the reality is far more intricate. The dollar's dominance survived decades of global banking systems, trade networks, and geopolitical alliances that all reinforced its role. Even today, as nations explore alternative currencies for trade, like the Chinese yuan or digital currencies, the dollar still reigns supreme. Its global grip isn't a relic of the handshake alone. It's built on trust, liquidity, and decades of economic habit. The myth of the expiring deal makes for exciting headlines, but the real story is about the resilience of the system. The handshake is legendary, but it is the infrastructure, markets, and alliances behind it that truly sustain the dollar. History shows us that legends can grow bigger than the facts, and in the case of the petrodollar, the legend has captured imaginations far more than it captures actual economic mechanics. Chapter 4. The dollar's hidden superpower. By now, you might be wondering, why has the dollar remained so dominant for decades, despite talk of collapse and de-dollarization? The answer lies in its hidden superpower: global trust and systemic advantage. The petrodollar system created network effects across the world. Every major bank, trading platform, and commodity market is structured around the US dollar. It's not just oil, it's metals, grains, technology. Almost everything traded internationally flows through the dollar. This web of financial infrastructure makes it incredibly difficult to replace. What's even more fascinating is the leverage it gives the US government. Because the world relies on dollars, America can borrow enormous sums at low interest rates. Inflation that would cripple other countries is absorbed in part by the global economy itself. In a sense, the dollar acts like a worldwide safety net for American economic power. And here's the twist. This system didn't require armies or invasions. It was built on trust, finance, and energy dependence. Unlike past empires that relied on brute force, America's dominance is quietly maintained in spreadsheets, trading desks, and oil contracts. It's a reminder that power doesn't always roar. It can whisper, hidden in currency, trade, and global networks. The dollar isn't just money. It's the invisible thread tying the global economy together, giving the US advantages that most countries can only dream of. Chapter 5. Cracks in the Foundation. For decades, the dollar reigned supreme, but even the strongest empires show signs of wear and tear. Today, subtle yet significant shifts in global trade hint at cracks in the petrodollar system. Saudi Arabia, once fully reliant on the US, now trades heavily with China. There are reports that some oil contracts are being priced in Chinese yuan, a symbolic yet powerful move away from the dollar. Meanwhile, countries like India, Russia, and Brazil are exploring alternative currencies for their trade deals, signaling that the world is quietly experimenting with new financial paths. The BRICS alliance adds another layer of tension. By promoting a multi-currency settlement system, these nations are challenging the notion that the dollar must dominate global transactions. And while this isn't happening overnight, it's a strategic, calculated shift, one that could slowly erode the dollar's unchallenged supremacy over time. Think of it like a fortress that looks impenetrable, but beneath the surface, small cracks are forming in the foundation. The dollar still dominates today, but global economic patterns are quietly evolving. History reminds us that empires rarely fall in a single blow. They erode slowly through subtle shifts, alliances, and strategic maneuvering. The petrodollar system may still hold, but the whispers of de-dollarization are growing louder, hinting at a world where the balance of financial power could look very different. Chapter 6. The Future of the Handshake. So, what do we make of this legendary handshake that some claim could collapse the US dollar? On one level, it's a symbolic act that reshaped global finance, linking oil, dollars, and military power in a single quiet revolution. On another level, it's a reminder that power is never permanent. Even the strongest systems face pressures and challenges over time. The dollar isn't going anywhere overnight. Its dominance is supported by decades of trust, infrastructure, and market habits. But the world is changing. Nations are exploring alternatives, digital currencies are emerging, and geopolitical alliances are shifting. The handshake may no longer hold the same unshakable power it once did. Yet the story is far from doom and gloom. It's a lesson in strategic foresight and adaptability. Just as the handshake elevated America's influence for decades, future shifts could redefine global economic power. The world may move toward a multi-currency system, but transitions like this take time, strategy, and patience. In the end, the handshake is more than a historical footnote. It's a living reminder of how finance, diplomacy, and energy intertwine. It shows us that a single agreement, quietly made behind closed doors, can shape the course of history. And as the global economy evolves, the question isn't whether the dollar will survive, it's how nations will adapt to a new financial world. The handshake may have started it all, but the future is still being written. One trade, one currency, one deal at a time. The world is changing, and while the dollar remains dominant, the seeds of a new financial era have been planted. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more insights into global finance.